Scorpio is quite a misunderstood sign. In the olden days, we were informed by media. We had the magazines, radio, TV. We had to tune in at the right place and at the right time. And these days, we have social media. It's there all the time and everywhere. It's saturated with content, information, misinformation, even. As a Scorpio, a lot of times is portrayed as a deep, dark, and mystical sign. But the Scorpio just has the power of the emotional intensity. They go through life in phases. It's the end of this era and the beginning of this era. It's like transforming, alchemizing energy, healing, and witnessing this phase of healing, talking about alchemizing and transforming may be a little uncomfortable. And that's how the eighth house and Scorpio rule things like taboos, the things we don't really like to bring to the light. But also Pluto, the ruler of Scorpio. So everyone has a Scorpio placement. And the fun fact about this sign is their dominant phrase, I desire, as telling something or someone that you desire means you have to admit that you lack. You have to admit that you're missing something. But we have to admit something first before we can start working with it. As we start week 44 on Monday, the 28th of October, with a water trine between Mars in its fallen sign of Cancer and Neptune moving retrograde in its home sign of Pisces. So Mars, in its fallen sign of Cancer, is acting on the emotions with the dominant phrase, I act. And we don't really like to act on our emotions. Sometimes we need to count to 10. But let's note that in this world chart, the fourth house also has the Emin Coli, our subconscious motivation for acting the way we do. It's kind of like our muscle memory. This is what our blood is flowing for in a effortless water trine. So healing, listen to your feeling, listen to your muscles, and train your muscles in that memory, into that memory. Heal yourself, listen to yourself, follow your intuitions in this water trine with Neptune moving retrograde. So Neptune with the dominant phrase I dream, in Pisces with the dominant phrase I dream or I believe. I believe in my dreams. Believe in yourself, believe in your feelings, as Neptune in retrograde makes it difficult to see things clearly and objectively and for what they are. But like I said, if we can't see, if we can't hear, if we can't understand clearly, we can always feel. Goosebumps are goosebumps. Irritated bowels are irritated bowels. Listen to your feelings, listen to your senses, and try to understand what they are telling you. And do not deceive yourself. Neptune is already doing that for us. So just listen to your feelings as we're going off to the mutable square between Venus in the mutable fires of Sagittarius and Saturn moving retrograde in Pisces. And Pisces is also the subconscious, is our belief system. Saturn moving retrograde makes it difficult to achieve, to move forward on our plans when it comes to achieving our dreams. But it's time to get out of our head. It's time to start exercising. A lot of times with placements in Sagittarius, they say start exercising, and it's not just exercising like do a squat and get a sweat. It's also like exercise whatever it is in your mind. Something told me go and paint and sip, and I got Missy Elliott out of a paint and sip. Either way, exercise whatever it is you have in your mind, whatever plan it is. Like, okay, I want to go and paint, go and paint. Yeah, if you think like I want to go and sing, go and sing. You heard me singing a lot of times over here. So what is stopping you from singing? No one cares, actually. We're going to talk about it in a little. Remember that for Wednesday the 30th. No one cares, but get out of your head and exercise your ideas. Move forward with all the insights that these retrogrades have given you, have given us. Because retrogrades, we're stepping out of the retrograde season gradually, but retrogrades are times for reflection, for introspection. Go inward. Like, why do you find it difficult to move forward on your plans? Because you think you need to break a sweat. No, you don't need to break a sweat. You need to break a kvast. Brush. Sorry. At the end of the day, of Monday the 28th, we'll have a masculine sextile. Masculine, do something. Be honest to you, to everyone. You can be honest to you so you can deliver to everyone, to the world. And with this masculine sextile between Venus in Sagittarius and Lilith in Libra. So Venus in Sagittarius, I appreciate, I love, I see the beauty in this. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to exercise. I'm because it's also fair to me with Lilith in Libra. So Lilith is that suppressed us in relationships, and we don't know anything to anyone else except for ourselves first, or maybe not, because it can go both ways. Eh? So maybe you need to start caring about others more in relationships. Maybe you need to start caring about yourself more in relationships. Maybe you deserve to go explore new relationships. Maybe you deserve to get out of new relationships. Either way, yeah, not sharing your knowledge, not sharing your truth, not sharing your help, not sharing even though you know better. That's like lying. And you don't want to be a liar, right? You don't want to be a liar in these relationships. You don't want to be a sinner, right? Because it's also a sin to keep those things to yourself when you can help others with it. And that's not fair. Because in this masculine sextile between Libra and Sagittarius, Libra likes to take everything into account before it comes to a deliberate decision. Saturn loves it, remember? And Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter, if you do the work, you get the shoulder klopje. If you do the work, you get the girl got fatter. Did you notice? Either way, if you don't do the work, you don't get the guap. So yeah, Sagittarius is very honest, very stern, very fair like that. And sometimes people are like, oh my god, that's a little bit too. Someone had to do it. So justice, fairness is these two. Be honest to yourself and share the knowledge that you have. We aren't just here for ourselves, right? We have to evolve ourselves into the beings that the world deserves as we're going off to Wednesday, the 30th of October. Like I just said, not everything is for everyone. Let me get a little example out of the Dutch history. We're going to the 1900s, so don't worry. But in the 1900s, they had pillars, they had tiers, like the tiers for the Catholics with their own TV, with their own stores, with their own magazines, with their own everything. They had the pillars for the Protestants, people with their own TV, with their own radio, with their own stores, with their own magazines, with their own everything. And everyone is just like, this is what I want to hear, this is what I want to see, so this is what I'm going to do. Segregation, maybe, yes, but it's the way we're happiest, if you're honest, if we're actually going to talk about it, but we're not going to do that today. Just to each their own, and stick to whatever value it is that you can bring to the table. Because remember the Virgo neighbor I talked about with her homeopathic medical knowledge about the traditional Chinese medicine? One may value it, the other may not value it. But at the end of the day, it's still valuable information. And if you practice it enough, if you let it out enough, it's something that others could desire. As you has transformed and healed in an opposition, Mabino, with Uranus moving retrograde in Taurus. So Taurus has the dominant phrase, I have, I possess. I cannot really shake it off of me. With Uranus is our own eccentricity, is our own being, how we evolve, how we revolutionize, how we innovate, how we bring things to the world with our innovations and inventions, as it's also about humanitarianism. At the end of the day, no man is an island. We're not doing it alone. We're not doing it for our own. We're evolving so we can be the best we need to be in this world right here, for the world right here. And those are things we sometimes cannot really shake off of us. Like, yeah, my neighbor did the study. She got the certificate. She can't really shake it off. Me, I don't know. I just wanted to sync with nature, and I just looked up, and there was a sun and a moon, and I thought, let me read, and but I got the knowledge now. I can't really shake it off of me, but I can help other people. I can educate other people. I can whatever. Stop fighting it. Stop being so stubborn. Like, oh, because Taurus stubborn. Okay, sorry. And yeah, sometimes they might believe you, like, oh, you really can do that. Sometimes they may not believe you, like, oh, I don't believe you. But either way, they're intrigued. As we're going off to Friday, the 1st of November, when Mercury will be in a water trine with Neptune. So Mercury is the conscience, Neptune is the subconscious. The conscience in our desires. So I think about, I start learning about, I start talking about, I start seeking my business in a effortless water trine with Neptune moving retrograde. So water again, intuitive healing, whatever. Also depression prone. Do what your feelings tell you. Do what your gut tells you. With Neptune moving retrograde, so it's difficult to see things clear. It's difficult to see things objectively and for what they are for others, because they haven't done the work. They haven't transformed, and maybe that's why they're so intrigued. Maybe remember last year when we talked about it, like that desire. What is that? It's like, oh, I see it, I don't understand it, I want to have it, and I want to destroy it. You can't destroy it because it's pure. Either way, yeah. Sometimes people just want to destroy it, and yeah, work with that emotion. It's an intense emotion that you can steal forward on. Little example: every time when you go live with whatever business it is that you have, like if you're selling nail polish or whatever, or people are like, we the first people are always like, we don't care, we hate you, you look like don't care. Be strong enough to overcome. As we're going off to the new moon in Scorpio on 9 degrees, and 9 degrees is the Sagittarius degree. Sagittarius is all about growing and expanding, being more tolerant. Because as we're going out, as we're going to encounter people, we're going to encounter all kinds of people, and it's the nasty ones that we have to go through first. Remember what I said? Like if your crowd isn't here, maybe you have to go there. But um New moon in Scorpio, dominant phrase I desire, ruled by Pluto on 29 degrees in Capricorn, 29 degrees Leo degree. I desire to create Capricorn this legacy. Well, if you really desire to create this legacy, start planning, start doing something, start doing those Capricorn things. Capricorn likes to plan, likes to strategize, and that's something that this generation doesn't really do. Like, let's take our Aquarius Paris Hilton for example. Paris Hilton all of a sudden became a DJ. She didn't just become a DJ, she came on all our TV screens and stuffs. And you're like, oh, maybe I want to be a DJ too, but I can't because Paris has money. It's not the money, it's the money to buy a planner. You have to plan, you have to strategize if you really want to get somewhere. If you really desire it, you have to really plan to get there and to go there. And a lot of our desires have been a little bit tainted by all that media. Like, oh, I want to live in a gated community. Oh, I want to have 7 cars, even though I can only drive one to one place and I can't really like GTA drop ship it. What do you really desire? Do you desire to have like a different car every day you show up? Then yeah, get a job so you can like rent a new car every day on holiday, whatever. But really get to the origin, really get to that point that isn't really in the light of what you really want to desire, where you really want to go, so you can really start to grow in the right direction instead of all directions at the same time. Yeah, that's all I kind of had to say as we're going off to Saturday, the 2nd of November, because this one is taking time. When Jupiter in retrograde will be in a masculine sextile with Chiron moving retrograde. So masculine, again, do something, or we didn't do something in these retrogrades. Retrograde, insight perspective. Maybe we got distracted by by our surroundings and stuff, and that's why we didn't get where we wanted to be right now. Because my brother, Chiron retrograde example, my brother, he's like, if only, he's a few years older than me, so he's like, if only I had the insight to like buy a Bitcoin for like 20 euros, man. But don't be like, oh, I missed this chance, I missed this chance. See the opportunity for the new chances, for the new things. And all of a sudden it was like drop shipping, like Q-tips, the things you can throw away but we need to buy again, and maybe we need to buy in bulk, like toilet paper. What was the other thing I said in Dutch? lip balm. No, but that's how easy it is. See what other people desire, see what you desire, see where the lack is. Vraag en aanbod. Duh. We hebben het hier eerder over gehad, dus ik ga weer door. We knew what we had to do, but we were distracted. Now do the opposite. And Mercury will be in a water trine with Mars, the other water trine. So this water trine, that water trine. Anyway, Mercury will be in a water trine with Mars. Be honest to yourself about the pitfalls and the obstacles. It may be uncomfortable to say, yeah, I did buy a TV, and when I bought the TV, I was hooked on the TV like for 4 hours a day, and I started sleeping later and stuff because you made the wrong investment. But talk about it, be honest to yourself, throw your TV out of the window. Sorry, inside humor. But be honest to yourself, as later in the day, Mercury will be in a masculine, feminine sextile with Pluto. Feminine on the inside, we feel it, you know exactly like that was a wrong investment, but how could you do it better? We know ourselves the best, but now it's like doing the best, acting the best, really treating ourselves the best. Don't buy the TV. You already have a laptop. A TV makes you static. You have to stay dynamic. As later in the day, Mercury will enter the very dynamic Sagittarius, mutable fire, dominant phrase. I grow. I think about growing. I think about expanding. I think about exploring the different opportunities that you have. Because in this sign, Mercury will be moving retrograde for the third time this year. So the third fire retrograde of Mercury. Rethink where you invest your energy. Rethink where you put your time. Rethink, because we could have done it better, and we're going to do the opposite this time around, as we're going to close the week off Mabinu on Sunday the 3rd of November, when Mars will be in an opposition with Pluto moving retrograde, no, moving direct, sorry, but Mars is okay. Mars is the current ruler of Aries and Aries alone, but in the olden days it was also the ruler of Scorpio. But Scorpio, so intense, that deep feminine energy, it's the deep fixed waters energy. Like, okay, I'm going to transform, I'm going to heal, I'm going to go into my cocoon for like 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years. But when I come out, when I come back, so they said this planet that empower with the empowering energy and with all that transformation and stuff, you're going to be the new ruler of Scorpio, because Mars, get out the way. So these two planets are energetic forces to be reckoned with in an opposition with each other. This is the start from that new energy to really do something with all those retrograde insights that we've gained in the solar eclipse period, solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, because that period is tiring. It's not you, love, it's the eclipse. Excuse me. But later in the day, Venus will be in an opposition with Jupiter moving retrograde. So Venus, I find beauty in this knowledge expanding and expanding over here, in an opposition with Jupiter, finding it difficult to feel joyful, finding it difficult to feel successful when it comes to starting these new superficial relationships, I'd say, but distribute information because you talk too much. Sorry, but before we become teachers, we have to go back to the basics. Before you can teach someone else, like throw your TV out the window, you have to have thrown your TV out of the window self. Yeah, I really threw a TV out the window. I'm telling you, throw it, but look if there are people downstairs first. I did it on a big square, so it's okay. Go back to the basics. Allow yourself to go back to the basics, even though it hurts. Remember that story I told you? Like, if you know that you're on the wrong train, on the wrong bus, the moment you realize, get off, because it's going to cost you money and time, and we don't have money, we don't have time yet, or for this mistake, because we shouldn't have made this mistake. So go back to the basics as we end the week with a fire trine between Venus and Chiron moving retrograde. So yeah, At least appreciate the fact that you could pay the fare. At least appreciate the fact that you could also learn the lessons when you were going the wrong way. Appreciate the fact that you can grow and that you are able to heal. Because gratitude is the attitude. Either way, yeah, we have to do it, eh? We have to do it for the younger generation and the older generation, because the older generation well, some. See you.